Hi there. Happy Metaphysical Monday. I wanted to come on here and talk about a pretty cool, I guess it's metaphysical tool that I've been working with, and that is breath work. And so I've talked about breathing a lot and there's different levels of breath work. And so, you can do some breath work by just taking deep breaths, by doing 4 counts to inhale, hold, 4 counts exhale and hold. You can do Ujjayi breath in a yoga class, breath in Kundalini, and all of this type of breath work, a lot of what it does is get you into your parasympathetic state and relaxes you and can move energy around. I've started to do for real breath work, like somatic breath work, which is able to really get into deep layers to move energy and move things like stored emotions that might be from previous experiences, ancestral trauma, trauma in this lifetime, past events, things that you're holding on to that you haven't fully emotionally expressed or got rid of. And so I've done 2 sessions now with my friend Cecily, and I'll link her info below this. And the first one was, my intention was really just to let go of whatever wasn't serving me. And I had a pretty profound somatic experience where during the breath work that she facilitated, we did it through my Zoom. I was scratching my throat and just moving my body around, and not intentionally, it was just what the breath was bringing up. And then the second time I did it last week, it was on the new moon, and my intention was to bring more prosperity and abundance into my life. And what happened during that experience was pretty interesting. During it, and I might have a video of it still, just a little clip. I was doing the breath work, and I could visualize this dark being, and I was moving my body and legs a lot to kind of kick it out of my energy field. And the more we did the breath work, the more, or I guess the less I would see of this being, until it was fully out, and then it came back to taunt me, and then by the end of the breathwork session it was completely gone. I have no idea what that was, but it was a wild experience. And then at the end, she had me kind of turn on my side like you would at the end of a yoga class, and I just felt all of this negative energy leaving my body. So this is something I'll continue to do. It's a pretty intense breath, and I'm sure you could do it on your own. I don't know how I would keep up with it for 30 minutes without someone coaching me along. But it is profound energy release. And I talk about this, and I'm going to be talking more about these things because what I've realized for myself in my own health journey and healing, and what I've noticed with some of my clients, is you can be following these protocols and dieting and taking supplements and all of these things, but if you're not dealing with emotions and trauma, you're not going to get better. And a lot of times that's what's keeping us sick. There's a really interesting book called The Body Keeps Score about how traumas kind of, when they're not released, sit in your body and cause other problems. And so people, especially who have back pain and digestive issues, shoulder pain, a lot of times these aren't physical things. They're very much emotional things. And so utilizing breath work and any somatic work will release these things and really undoubtedly improve your health. And I've talked about this a lot before, but until I started doing some emotional and spiritual work, I was pretty stuck in how far I could get in my physical healing. And once I started to lean into these things. Within a few months, I was healthy and back to normal, and I continue these practices. And I don't obsess over them because there's definitely like an integration period, and you just can't do spiritual and emotional work that deeply every day. But something to really consider looking into, especially if you have health issues that won't resolve, you're not feeling great, you maybe don't know why, or maybe you do know why, and you've been in talk therapy or using other modalities that just aren't quite working. This is really something that can get at emotions and things at a much deeper level. So, I'm sure there's like a lot of people that do breath work, but I've been working with my friend Cecily, who I met on a Kundalini retreat, and she's getting her training, and she's doing some sessions, I think, for another month that are practice for her, or she doesn't need practice. I mean, this is like she has to get a ton of hours. But if you're interested in working with her, I will connect you. And then in January, she'll be doing this as part of her business, and it's freaking amazing. And it works remotely. You could just do it through an iPhone or through Zoom. And she doesn't have to be there with you. However, if you're currently in like the LA area, she's in that general area and can do things in person as well. So, any questions about this or my experience, feel free to reach out. Feel free if you're interested in doing this for yourself. I'm happy to connect you with my friend. Have a good Metaphysical Monday.